Okay, besties. We are reading some spooky Halloween reads, and it's gonna be a lot of fun. So let's go. I have 3 cutesy little Halloween books ready to go for this reading vlog, and you guys are just gonna join me. And you know what the funniest part about this is? I'm actually posting this video on Halloween, and it's super atmospheric. We got the orange walls. They're orange all year round, but it's especially fun right now, you know what I mean? Anyways, I got 3 books. First one that we're starting with is none other than Bride by Miss Allie Hazelwood. Now, this is my first Allie Hazelwood book, and I'm very excited. I can't lie. I've heard lots of good things about her. I'm kind of excited that I'm starting with this book because I know that this is a bit, for lack of a better word, a bit of a dark horse in terms of her bookography. What's that even called? Like, I know it's like a discography for musicians. It's not a bookography. I know that for freaking sure. Anyways, whoever knows, tell me in the comments. I'm just excited because apparently it's kind of just like adult Twilight vibes. And like, I'm gonna be completely honest with you people. I never read Twilight growing up. I only watched the movies for the first time. I watched the first movie in college. I think the first time I watched Twilight was in 2021, and then just earlier this year I watched the rest of the movies. Definitely won't be reading the books, that's for sure. That is all I'm gonna say about that. But Bride by Allie Hazelwood apparently is like the more fun adult version of that, with less chaos and less cringe. So that's exciting and fun. I've just been really in the mood for some spooky Halloween reads. Currently, it is not even quite October yet, but as you know, if you've watched my video explaining how things are gonna go on this channel, I am a chronic mood reader, so I can't force myself to read a bunch of books for a certain prompt all at the same time. I have to space everything out. So when I'm filming my reading vlogs, it's just gonna be like one's from this month, then from there, and that. Like, I'm not gonna be doing all 3 books in a week. I'm gonna be doing 3 books over the course of like a month and a half with other books spliced in between. So anyways, with all that jabber out of the way, let's get started on Bride by Allie Hazelwood. I'm excited to jump into this one. Hello. I've read 28% of the book. I'm absolutely devouring it. It's hilarious, and I'm having a great time. So yeah, essentially the concept is that we have Lo Moreland, which is a werewolf, or a were, as they say in this book, and Misery Lark, which I think is such a cool name, even though her brother's name is Owen. It's like, okay. And she's a vampire. And essentially they have this arranged marriage that we see at the beginning of the book, and she is just living in were territory now, and like she's basically like a prisoner, and she has to be there for at least a year to like show, it's kind of like a show of good faith or whatever. So anyways, that's essentially the premise, and her best friend went missing, and the only clue that was there was L.E. Moreland. So that's pretty much the premise of the book. It's really interesting. I'm having a great time so far. I fear that I'm just gonna eat this book up. 100% so far recommend this for Halloween read. I'm going feral right now. I've already suggested it to my 2 best friends to read. It's 7:09 in the morning. I have to leave for work in like 5 minutes, and I'm 50% of the way through Bride, and I'm truly obsessed with it. I'm obsessed, and maybe this is just me being obsessed with something that is very Twilight-esque because I never had a Twilight phase. I totally skipped over that. When everyone else was reading Twilight, I was just like, nah, I'm good. But this book, I love it. I'm just having such a fun time. Like, Ali Hazelwood is hilarious and her banter is so good, and the tension. Ali Hazelwood, I love you. I'm having a great time. I have to go to work now, but I fear that I will be done with this book in the next day or two because of how fast I'm freaking devouring it. So I'll keep you updated, I guess. I'm almost done, and so many things have happened. There was one thing that I was suspecting, and it came true. I can't wait to give you my final thoughts on this. I'm so close to finishing. I'm just gonna finish it up and let you know final thoughts. Hello everyone. I've officially finished the book. And I loved it. I have to say, I don't know what it was about the way that it was written, about the premise, about how it was set up, the character interactions. I just was feeling the 5-star flutteries the whole time. And yes, there's one particular sex scene at the very end that is a little bit like, okay, but that's fine. I will tell you, in general, this book is low-key sexually feral, okay? So if that's not really your cup of tea, you probably won't like this book that much. But I loved it. And I'm not really one of those people necessarily that is like only looking for smut when I read romance or like whatever, but it's also not gonna like completely turn me off from a book. I mean, a little bit. Sometimes if it's like a lot, and there's like nothing else going on with the characters. But like, I really liked these characters' connections. I like that there was something else going on in the background. It's almost like a mystery too of like what's happening. You're kind of like figuring it out as you go. There's like this whole thing going on underneath, like this kind of like political undercurrent between the wearers and the vampires and like everything that's going on. And I don't know, I just devoured it. Maybe it's just because I never got to scratch that itch in middle school or high school because I never read Twilight, but something about that book just did something to my brain. And the whole time was like, I don't want it to end, but I want to keep reading. You know what I mean? So I think I'm gonna give it 5 stars. I have not felt this way about a book in so long. I think the last book that I rated 5 stars was a book that I read in April. You know it's a 5-star book when you're afraid to read it again because you don't know if you're gonna feel the same magic when you read it again. You know what I mean? But I fear that Bride is gonna have to be a yearly reread for me. I have a couple of options for what to read next because one of my unsuspecting holds has come off of holds at the library, but I have a choice between a couple of different ones. So we'll see. Your guess is as good as mine as what's coming next. So I will see you when I'm starting the next book. Till then, Bride by Ali Hazelwood. For me, 5 stars. Again, just a fair warning. It is sexual. And it's not like tee and then la 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 and then it felt so good. No. We're walking through every detail. It is explicit. It's not closed door romance. It's like the doors are open. We've got someone narrating the whole scene, every little detail, it's all there. So just a fair warning to those reading the book, that is a whole thing, okay? Ali Hazelwood does thank AO3 at the back in her acknowledgments, so that's all I'm gonna say. That's all I'm gonna say about that. Anyways, I loved the book, and I can't wait to eventually have a physical copy of it so I can highlight all the parts of their love story that make me want to scream and cry. Anyways, I will see you when I start the next book. We're back to continue on with what I am now rebranding this reading vlog as the paranormal romance reading vlog. So I wanted it to be kind of like Halloween themed, obviously, but then I kind of was just like, we know me, and of course everything has to have a twinge of romance to it. Well, not everything, but I would say a fair amount of the books that I read have a twinge of romance to it. So I tried yesterday to start reading, it's such a long title, The Very Secret Society of Irregular Witches by Sangumandana. However, it's set in November. It feels very lighthearted, very cozy, not very spooky, not very Halloween-y. So I think we're gonna switch over to a different book and just let that one be a fun in-between kind of read. One thing that I did want to show you, although it keeps getting messed up because these stickers are not quite the same size as all the other stickers in my Kindle case, is that I got some cute little Halloween dog stickers from my job. And it's so sweet, look. So adorable. One of my coworkers has this little, she has like a little container that she usually keeps candy in, but this time she just put a bunch of little Halloween themed things. So I just took these stickers from there and cut them out so that I can add them to the back of this for like a cute little Halloween themed Kindle for this little time being. But anyways, let's pop into the Kindle and switch over. I'm actually so excited for this book because I watch a fair few like booktubers, and one of the ones who I can almost always count on her recommendations, especially if it's a kind of like spooky, atmospheric, like fantasy-esque recommendation, it's gonna be Miss Carrie Can Read, okay? And I will definitely talk about her a lot. I already have talked about her on this channel in my little intro video. Oh, there's like a freaking character list. Oh my gosh. Oh my god. Okay. Okay. Oh, they're doing this because it's a Romeo and Juliet retelling. So I think they're kind of doing it like the play, like the setup of the play. There's the characters and then the setting. Anyways, what I know about this book is that Carrie Can Read said that it was her favorite book of 2023. I always trust her like fantasy recs. When it comes to romance, I think our tastes are not quite the same because she recently, I didn't even watch it, I was just reading the comments and it was like, oh, I'm glad I'm not the only one that didn't like the 7-Year Slip. And I was like, I'm sorry, no. That's a 5-star read for me. I loved that book. So it's fine that we disagree on romance, that's okay, but her fantasy recs are like god tier. So I'm very happy to announce, after a ridiculously long intro that is so dramatic for no reason, that the next book in this paranormal romance reading vlog is going to be One for My Enemy by Olivia Blake. Oh my god, and the cover of this book is just so beautiful. It's like, oh my god, seriously. And in the actual colorful version, obviously the Kindle is black and white, it's like a little bit of red, like dark red accents and stuff. It's so good. Essentially, what I know about One for My Enemy is that it is set in New York City. It is a Romeo and Juliet retelling, and it's witches. Sign me up, boy. I am so excited. And the fact that Carrie Can Read has sung such high, like, praises of it, I'm almost scared that I'm, like, hyping this book up too much. Like, I'm really actually scared that I'm doing that. But, like, come on. Also, if you have watched my other channel, you know that I have mixed feelings about living in New York City, but when I read a book set in New York City, I'm like, this is the greatest city in the world, baby. Like, I get so excited because I'm just like, oh, I know all these places and like I know the vibes, and it's just like fun. It's really fun. Obviously, it's two families, and then it's like the scene, New York City. Ooh. And then the thing about this book that I'm sad I don't think is included in this is that there's really pretty illustrations in the physical copy of it, so I'm so excited. Oh, there's like a prologue and everything. It's like really doing the whole Shakespeare thing. Okay. It's a very cold and blustery day here in New York City. I've got my ambiance on the TV of a little cozy library with a fireplace crackling and some jazz in the background, ready to go. And I'm just going to read as much as I can. I'm just gonna cozy up and read. I have the day off, and I'm going to dive right into this fun, witchy book. I'm so excited. I will give you a bit of an update once I have a little bit more of a lay of the land, although I feel like I've essentially explained the concept. I think to add one more layer to what I've so far provided to you, I think the whole point is that it's two crime families in New York that are magical, like they're witches. And it's like a star-crossed lovers situation. So that's selling me already. What else could you say? Okay, how far into the book am I? I'm like 50 or 60% into the book now. And it's still keeping my attention, but it's not like making me excited. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I know exactly what you mean.
So, I don't know, because it's a Romeo and Juliet retelling, but the Romeo and Juliet plot ended at 40%, so I just don't really know what's going on anymore. Well, I do, but like it's kind of just like it's taking on a life of its own. So,
it's by no means a West Side Story.
No, it's not, because that just like ended, but this is just continuing to go. It also just isn't that much about like the fact that they're magical and witches. It kind of is just about the drama between the families, and it's not so much about the magic. So
she's hating the process, I could tell you. She hates this book.
No, I don't hate the book.
Sorry.
It's just not what I was expecting, and I think my expectations...
She doesn't love the book.
My expectations kind of fucked me on this one, to be honest, because I was expecting something totally different. Well, I don't know. I was expecting a Romeo and Juliet retelling, and it's pretty faithful. It's very dramatic, very twisted, very turny. It's also very flowery in its writing, and it's very, like... I don't know what word to use. Traditional, and it's like the way that it's being told, and like everyone has their place in the family, but then it's also kind of like, is this destroying us at the same time? I don't know. If you really like Romeo and Juliet, I would definitely suggest this book. However, it's not as magical as I thought it was going to be, and it takes place during the winter. It doesn't feel very Halloween-y or spooky at all. In general, it's not a bad book. I'm not having a bad time, but it's definitely like a little bit more drawn out and long than I thought it was going to be. Like, the plot is just kind of losing me a little bit at the moment. It's just not necessarily piquing my interest, because it feels like we just say the same things over and over about these characters, and I'm kind of just like, okay, we get it. Like, this person is brave, or this person is the leader of the family, like, whatever. Yeah, I don't know. I think it's just kind of average at this moment. Definitely not a spooky read. It's still technically paranormal romance because they're witches, but you know, there's not that much about magic in the book, so so yeah, it is what it is. Yeah, that's my 50-ish% update. Expectations can really kill a book, y'all. Hello, I am here at the end of One for My Enemy, and As I was saying before, I really think that expectations, how does this saying go? Expectations, the thief of joy. I think I had set my expectations of this book really high, and also because I was expecting it to be a Romeo and Juliet retelling, I kind of was very much tied to that idea. Apparently, it's Romeo and Juliet mixed in with like Russian fairy tale because these characters are witches. However, they have like alter egos in the crimes like world, the underground crime world. The matriarch of the family of women and the patriarch of the family of men is Baba Yaga, and Koschei the Deathless, which apparently is in some kind of Russian folklore or something, and Maria the princess. I don't know. So anyways, I don't know how much of a point or a plot there actually was in the book, if I'm being completely honest with you, because like things were happening, but then a lot of questions were unanswered. I feel like it was just a really long book with not a lot actually going on. Like I felt like I read the same thing over and over and over again. And I kind of switched back and forth between audiobook and regular reading for like the last maybe 40% of the book, just to like speed my way through the end. But yeah, I don't know. I think I definitely shot myself in the foot by building this book up so much before reading it. However, it is also very clear to me that like there are certain books that carry reads that are just not 100% for me. The type of romance that Carrie likes is completely different to the romance that I like. So anyways, that plus the fact that I wanted it to be more magical and more spooky. Like there was magic involved, but it was more about like the families and the whatever, that I felt like the magic took a back seat, the setting took a back seat. This literally could have taken place anywhere. Like I didn't get any feeling of setting, and I really like when a book makes you feel like you're in a place. I was literally reading this book while being in New York City, and I didn't feel like I was in New York City, you know what I mean? So that's kind of also a little bit upsetting and disappointing. But anyways, my SD card is running out of space, so I need to stop yabbering. I think I have decided that I'm going to rate it a 3.5 or 3.75. I haven't 100% decided, so whatever the final rating is, I will just put it here. Yeah, definitely was a little bit disappointing. It wasn't a bad book by any means. Beautifully written. Like I said before, the language is very flowery and descriptive about like emotions and honor and that kind of stuff, but I think I'm realizing that I just really don't like crime books about the mob or whatever, and like that like undying loyalty to greed and bullshit like that. I just cannot relate to it, and it just seems stupid to me, honestly. Yeah, I mean, guess what? I learned something about myself, and that's okay. So anyways, I am going to sign off on this book, and I will see you very soon to read the next book, because it is already very close to Halloween, and I need to finish up this reading vlog so I can get it edited and posted. So yeah, I'll see you in just a moment when I start reading the next book. I made an error, everyone. Okay. So essentially, I had to put my Kindle on airplane mode because my copy of The Very Secret Society of Irregular Witches was about to lapse in like 48 hours. So I was like, let me just like be nice, put my thing on airplane mode and return all my books, because then everyone else will be able to use them and I'll just have them on my Kindle. I forgot to download them. Like they were sent to my Kindle but not downloaded to my Kindle. So the third book that I was going to read is not on my Kindle, and there's an 8-week wait for it. Good. Technically, the audiobook is available to borrow. However, it's about vampires, maybe lesbian vampires, and it's taking place in Harlem Renaissance era New York, but it is about crime families as well. So I'm wondering if it's too similar to the last book. I regret putting one for my enemy into this reading vlog. Oh, this is just what happens sometimes when you're at the will of the library. It is what it is. Frick! I don't know what to do. I think I might have one or two other books that are on hold that are maybe about to be released from hold. Okay, there's a book that just came off of hold, but it's not romance. I should have thought about this a little bit more. I really should have done a bit more research and gotten better paranormal romance reads. So no. What did I just do? You're fucking kidding me right now. I accidentally turned airplane mode back on. So now I don't even have a very secret society of regular witches. I don't have anything. Oh my god, I've screwed myself. I'm just having a lot of technical difficulties right now. So I think I'm just gonna take a breather now that all the books that I just thought that I'd locked onto my Kindle are gone. Not that I even care. I had so many books that I was in the middle of. I kind of almost feel free of it. You know what I mean? I'm just gonna take some time to regroup and I will be back tomorrow, hopefully having figured out what to do. It is what it is. We persevere. Hi. Okay, so it's been over 24 hours, just about 24 hours since the travesty of yesterday, and I've had a moment. I had a lot of work to do today, so I literally have not done any reading since my initial skim of the first couple of pages last night. But I think we found a book. After I scoured Libby for like half an hour trying to find a good book, I think I found one. It's called The Scarlet Veil. It's another vampire one. So that's fine because we were already planning on doing another vampire one. And it kind of goes with the theme. All of the covers are kind of going with a fun little theme here. And the concept of the book sounded pretty interesting. So I'm like hoping for the best. It is a little bit long, so that might be a bit of an interesting choice on my part because I have a lot of things to do and not that much time until Halloween. Definitely enough time to finish this book, but like only if it's actually interesting and keeps my attention because I have a week or so until Halloween, which means I need to finish this book and finish editing the video by the time that it's right now when you're watching this. Anyways. You don't care about the back end stuff. She's a New York Times best-selling author, so this feels okay. I'm not too worried about it. It's about vampires, enemies to lovers, I think, so that's good because that's one of my favorite tropes. And it'll be fun. I will update you once I've gotten a little farther in and have the lay of the land and see how I'm feeling about the book. I've got a 6-hour shift today, so I'm just gonna listen to as much as I can and then keep reading tonight when I get home. Hi. I'm 50% of the way through the book. Sorry I haven't given you more updates. I worked a lot this weekend. I had like a 7-hour shift on Friday and then 2 technically only 9-hour shifts, but I was at the theater for 11 hours Saturday, Sunday, so I'm wrecked. But anyways, I don't know what the heck my little baby hairs are doing, but just please ignore. The book so far, fantastic. The beginning is definitely a little slow, like it kind of started off with a little bit of exposition, you know, but now that we're with the vampire, I love it. There's just like a little bit of a mystery aspect, but it's mostly like it's totally enemies to lovers vibes. Like I'm like, how are they even gonna become lovers at this point? And I'm 50% into the book, so it's a slow burn. Technically I think it's YA, like YA paranormal romance fantasy whatever. So far I'm having a really good time. I'm genuinely pleasantly surprised with how much I'm enjoying this, and she's only 19. So that's actually one thing that's very heinous about this book, is that if these two become enemies to lovers, there's like a 1,000 plus year age gap, which is jail. But guess what? It's fine because it's fake. But still, it's like, wow, okay. So if you're not into the age gap thing, this is not the book for you. I'm gonna keep reading and I'll give you guys another update. Hopefully before I finish, if something happens, I don't know. Hi! Oh my gosh! She's outside. Crazy. I am posted up here with the little dogs and I'm at 80% into this freaking book. I just finished editing all the way up till this point and it's October 30th. So I need to finish this book, so I thought might as well come outside to a lovely park. It's such a nice day today, and I have to finish this book before tomorrow, so let's just freaking go. Let's go. Okay, anyways, I literally don't think I told you anything about this book. So let me tell you now, I guess better late than never, 82% into the book. Essentially, there's like a group of huntsmen and she's the first woman to join the ranks. She happens to be engaged to the captain and essentially he's a big asshole. He totally like undermines her at every turn, and like there was this whole big dramatic thing with her sister the year before and like a really powerful witch or whatever. I'm so nervous filming in front of people. I'm gonna have Flip block me. So essentially he treats her like a porcelain doll. That's like the whole thing. And then essentially she gets kidnapped by a vampire, and that's kind of like where we all begin. Yes, the age gap is 19 and 1,000 plus. I don't even know how old he is exactly, but he's been the king of the vampires for like over 1,000 years, so he old. And yeah, it's kind of definitely giving a Court of Thorns and Roses vibes, because it's very much like she gets taken by the monster and has to live with him. It's kind of like a Stockholm syndrome kind of situation, but you know, it's enemies to lovers, so you know what it is. She is kind of annoying, as all 19-year-old female characters are, let's be honest. Not super annoying, also relatable in some ways, because she cries all the time. Like when she's upset or mad or feels strongly about something, she's like, I cannot cry right now, but I can feel the tears stinging in my eyes. And I'm like, that is so relatable. Like, that is so real. But anyways, in general, it's like a fine book. It's like nothing amazingly amazing, but it's also not like the worst book I've ever read. So I'm having a good time. Like, it's just kind of easy reading. So yeah. Wow. What an ending. That is a freaking cliffhanger if I ever saw one. Don't you think? Oh my gosh. Okay, what the hell? The ending is just a big bloody bloodbath. And then it leaves me on the craziest cliffhanger. It's a duology, and I think the second book is coming out in March of 2025. And I have it like dinged at the library, so it'll tell me when one of my libraries gets a copy, but I don't really know what to say because this epilogue changes everything. What's gonna happen? Oh my god. Anyways, let me give you a bit more of an overview of what I just read. Obviously, without spoiling anything, I'm still in shock. Sorry. This book is definitely more of a revenge plot / murder mystery sort of thing than I was expecting. Romance is like a subplot, honestly, because there wasn't that much about the romance. There was like a lot of yearning. There was a lot about like blood magic and witches, and like there was ghosts in there too. So it's all very interesting. In general, like 100% a Halloween book. Like this book, out of all of them that I read for this reading vlog, was by far the most like Halloween on brand themed book. In general, a fun time. I did definitely enjoy the reading situation. Some things were definitely a little annoying. Some things were a little bit of suspend your disbelief or whatever, but in general, really not bad. I don't know what to rate this book. I think I'm debating between a 3.75 and a 4. The reason that I'm teetering is because the last 100 pages were kind of insane in a good way. The whole plot kind of came together. There was like fucking twist after twist after twist, and it was really interesting. The book was a little bit long. Like it definitely could have been a tiny bit shorter, and I think we would have been totally fine. It was like 627 pages, so that's kind of a lot, but I read it in the amount of time that I needed to read it in. Tomorrow is Halloween, so I'm going to say goodnight for now, and I will catch you tomorrow with my final thoughts. Anyways, I will see you tomorrow morning. Hello everyone. Girl, it's the next day. It's actually Halloween today, and she's the scariest thing in this video. Seriously, get out of here. Rude. Anyways, hi. It's Halloween. I have to finish this real quick and then put the video up. But anyways, let's talk about the books that I read in this video. I read 3, I guess you could consider them paranormal romances, because there was some creepy creatures in each of these books. The first book that I read was Bride by Ali Hazelwood. This was my first Ali Hazelwood book, and I was not disappointed. I don't know what about it just like had me feeling so giggly and kicking my feet. I have no idea. There's a lot of people that feel very whatever about that book. For me, I don't know. It just really did something for me. I really enjoyed it. I had a lot of fun. The romance between a vampire and a werewolf in like competing territories, you know, a marriage of good faith, you know, to connect the people. I just thought it was really fun, and there was like a little bit of a mystery subplot, which is kind of a theme between paranormal romances from what I've seen, which is fun because I love mystery books. But anyways, I loved Bride by Ali Hazelwood, and I gave it 5 stars. Still stick to that rating. I really enjoyed it, and I had a really good time. Yes, there is definitely a little scene at the end that I could have done without, but I was getting the 5-star tinglies the whole time, so I'm sticking with a 5-star rating. Next book that I read was One for My Enemy by Olivia Blake, and I felt less excited about that one. Like I mentioned about 100 times while reading, I think that my inflated expectations were really the downfall of me during this book. I saw a review on it that was like, put Romeo and Juliet retelling out of your head. It's just inspired by Romeo and Juliet. So I think it's just tough because she did the whole like setup. It kind of was like almost structured like a play. It was very, very confusing. My head was messed with. The writing was beautiful, genuinely, but I felt like the plot was almost non-existent. That's rude to say because there definitely was a plot, but I felt like it was stretched on for so long. It was like, I want to get revenge on you because of this. Well, I'm gonna get revenge on you because of this. Well, I don't know. I'm not a huge revenge person, so for me, that doesn't always land in a book. And I think in this book, it just didn't land for me, especially because it was kind of like the whole crime family thing of like literally the only reason you're getting revenge on someone is because you're greedy and you want your empire to be bigger, which just like makes me want to barf. And I don't like that at all in any context whatsoever. So, I'm not much of a crime family kind of drama girly. It's definitely not for me, and I think that was obvious with this book because all of it was about like putting your family above everything and like being willing to kill for your family and die for your family. Look, I love my family as much as the next person does, but if someone murders one of my siblings, I'm probably not gonna try to murder their whole entire family. That's just me though. You can call me fake or whatever, but I just don't see myself murdering an entire family of people. I don't know. I just felt like it was a bit drawn out in my personal opinion. So I think I'm gonna see, this is where it gets really tough because I think I'm going to actually demote my rating that I gave earlier because I give myself about one business week to decide if my rating is solid or not because I change my mind like that in terms of ratings. I feel like the more I think about it, often the farther down it goes because when I finish reading a book, my idea of it is really, really inflated. So I think I'm gonna be going down to a 3. And I think part of it is definitely because I am like such a hoe for the setting. And if I can't like feel the vibes of where we are, I'm not a fan. And if you say we're witches and whatever, I feel like there were so few mentions. I don't know, it just felt very mundane. Like the magic felt mundane, which I guess is like a choice. That's fine. I just is not my choice of if I'm reading a book about witches and magic. Like it just felt like it was shoehorned into the plot just to like be an extra weapon for them to use in a way, and I just didn't really like that personally. And then yeah, like I said before, it was set in New York. You could have fooled me. The only thing they mentioned, they were like, yeah, and then I walked out of a library at NYU. Oh, we're in Manhattan. We're by the Hudson River. Like, they just mentioned it and then moved on. Like, there was nothing else. I don't know, I just did not feel the setting at all. Did not feel the vibes. Anyways, 3 stars for me. Still really good writing, and I'm so many people literally love this book so much, and I'm so happy for them. It just was not for me. Still a good book, just not for me. Anyways, last one. Let me stop yapping your ear off. The Scarlet Veil by Shelby Mahurin. It was fun. I definitely think that there was definitely some issues in the book. Some of them glaring, some of them not so glaring. It definitely kind of reads like a Sarah J. Maas book. So take that information how you will. It definitely was more of like a paranormal mystery with a little bit of a romance subplot, lots of yearning, lots of confusion. The main character is a 19-year-old girl, so she's kind of annoying, kind of still figuring things out, very stubborn, all that stuff. I found Feyre and Akatar like extremely annoying. This main character is definitely a lot less annoying to me than Feyre. However, she is still definitely kind of stubborn and kind of annoying. It's definitely a lot of fun. The end, the twist, and then the little epilogue, the like 2 or 3 page chapter at the very end is just like, oh, and then da da da, and you're like, and you're not gonna tell me. The freaking cliffhanger is crazy, and the second book comes out in March or something. I am definitely reading that book for sure because I had enough fun with this one that I would definitely want to read the second one. Anyways, final rating on this book, a 3.75 because again, there were some issues. I definitely enjoyed reading it, but it wasn't like so good the whole way through that I was like, yes, 4 stars. 3.75 is like a good, like it's a good book. It's average. It's like fine. It's good. But you know, there were some things while I was reading that I was kind of like, okay. And yeah, anyways, that's all my thoughts on this tiny little Halloween romance reading vlog. And happy Halloween if you are watching this on the day that it comes out. I can't wait to post more reading vlogs. Yay! I have a couple more coming out through the end of this year, but don't hold your breath for a regular schedule until January because the rest of my year is kind of insane, and I just kind of wanted to soft launch the booktube channel at the beginning just to like kind of dip my toes into it, ease on over. Anyways, that's all for the video today. Thank you so much for watching and being here and commenting. I would love to hear your thoughts if you read any of these books, if you loved them, if you hated them, if you have any other vampire romance recs, because apparently I'm feral for them. I have just learned that I'm so obsessed with vampire romance in the past few weeks. Maybe next year, as a fun little experiment, I will read Twilight just for the pain and the cringiness of it. If you would like me to do that, let me know, because I've never read Twilight. I've just seen the movies. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Till then, I'm sending you all my love because we're all just trying our best out here, okay? Bye, happy reading!